जन्यो न वर्षतो फलवत्रो न भोषधयः पच्यन्तां योगक्षेमो न कल्पेताम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणचक्षुः स्तोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वो ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोतु अनिराकरणम् अस्तु अनिराकरणम् मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम नमस्ते गुरुजी
ब्यूटिफुल देवी ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः ओम ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवम् उपास्महे कृष्णं कमलपत्राक्षं पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनं वासुदेवं जगद्योनिं नौमि नारायणं हरिं नौमि नारायणं हरिम् ॐ श्रीमा ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं श्रीमात्रे नमः ॐ श्री दुर्गाम्बिकायै नमः मम उपात्त समस्त दुरितक्षयद्वारा श्री परमेश्वर प्रीत्यर्थम समस्त सन्मंगलावाप्त्यर्थम श्री दुर्गा सप्तशत्यां तृतीय चरित पारायण अध्ययनं च करिष्यामः ओम दुम दुर्गायै स्वाहा देवी प्रपन्नार्तिहरे प्रसीद प्रसीद मातः जगतोऽखिलस्य प्रसीद विश्वेश्वरी पाहि विश्वं त्वमीश्वरी देवी चराचरस्य या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः ॐ दुर्गाम्बिकायै नमः जयन्ती मंगला काली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवा धात्री स्वाहा स्वधा नमोस्तुते जय त्वं देवी चामुण्डे जय भूतार्तिहारिणी जय सर्वगते देवी कालरात्रि नमोस्तुते. So we have been noting down how Ammavaru has been terribly active and Devakarya Samujjata and anytime there is a problem, she has promised that she will be again born and she will reduce the worry problem and attribute the portfolios to all the gods which were deprived to them, robbed from them by the great Mahasuras. So, because of that promise, she is committed. So, in third chapter or in the Panchama Adhyaya, we are just going on. In the third, which is a Uttara Charitam, otherwise called. For this, Rudra is the Rishi, Mahasaraswati Devata, and Anushtup Chandaha, Bhima Shakti, Brahmari Bijam, Suryaha Tattvam, Samavedaha Swarupam, and Mahasaraswati Pritihi Bhavati. So when we are doing the Patha, when we are doing the Adhyayana, Parayana, Homa, Japa, whatever that we are with, because of that, we are completely free. Therefore, how does that Mahadevi appear during this third Charitam? Because she has to do a typical job. She is not only to destroy one Rakshasa like Mahishasura, supreme in principle, but only Vishnu has done the job of killing or punishing the Madhukaitava Rakshasas, who are his own sons and who tried to give problems and trouble and also wanted to devour that Brahmadeva. So it was a fought among the brothers. You know, it is said brothers, when they are born, they are friends and they are supporting children because of parents and others. But when they become independent, void of their parents, then they will have their own personal taste and personal desire and personal anger, and all that depends upon number of circumstances, depends upon the type of family that they get it or they pick up, and all those things. This is samsara. That's why samsara, wherever in Vedic text you see, they don't say samsara is very attractive and beautiful, and samsara is a panka, samsara is a trouble, samsara is all that. So, so what is the way out to be able to, what is the way out to become better out and float in the samsara? It is only because of, it's only because of the Parameswari's joining. So she has to be praised, and she is the lonely deity. She is the only deity who can throw down everything in the world. All dukkha is removed, klesha is removed, and shanti is generated, and people can do their own work. That's why we always make a prayer to Surya Bhagavan. जीवेम शरदशतम् नन्दाम शरदशतम् मोदाम शरदशतम् प्रब्रवाम शरदशतम् अजीतास्याम శరదశతం. సో అజీతాస్యామ, మనము ఓడిపోకూడదు. సో we should not lose our game in life. So life is a game, life is a sport. So in the games and sports, we are supposed to be very much active. So we are all there, and therefore Ammavaru has got a large number of defense implements and weapons in her hand. See, on this Sunday, we are going to have a wonderful talk on the divine weapons and use human for human use. So a great doctor, very busy, morning 7 o'clock to evening 7 o'clock. He will be on duty in the hospital looking after the infants, their care. So he has agreed to talk about these things. That is, I have already sent you the flyer. You can circulate to our friends and all that. So what I mean is, she is having Ganta, Sula, Hala, Senkha, Musala, Chakra, Dhanu, Sayakam, and so she has got Atulya Prabha. There is nobody match for her beauty. And this Durga Parameswari in third, Gauri Deha Samudbhava. So she is emanated from Gauri, that is Parvati. And the Durgamma has emanated from the Kopagni of both Kopagni of both Vishnu and Shiva. So you can imagine the double engine power for the Kopam, and that is Durga. And she tested, Kopa is taken as a female form because if female is a dangerous, if as long as she is friendly, she is called Nari. As long as, and she, when she turns to be violent and virulent and inimical, etc., she becomes a Mari. Therefore, a family has got Nari and Mari two avataras in a woman. And it all depends upon the members of the family, how they meddle, manage, please, and separate the woman. So in the here also, but she was to fight with two demons, and both are brothers, both are high tapaswins and devotees, and therefore she has to have such power overpowering all these two fellows. That's why Atulya Prabham. And Parvati Devi, she came for bath in on the top of bath, and that time all the gods reached and appealed to her, Amma, there is the Sumbhani Sumbha Rakshasas, and we are unable to get comfort, and they are he's torturing, troubling, giving all troubles. So we have lost our personal abilities, and all our weapons have got no power, and therefore you must come and interfere. So moreover, as we have seen in the fifth chapter, what happened to the gods? Actually, nobody wants the other person unless he is in sorrow, unless he is in need. Sometimes people say here in English, in America, I need you. They shout at you. They simply call the person and say, I need you. But in India, we don't say, I need you. But we simply say, Randi and Town, Randi, Barbekri, Banni, all these courteous terminology were used. But here it is not like that. I need you. No escape. Come. In that manner, the gods needed that Parvati to interfere, and therefore they say, and all these people have come. Then, when the Parvati agreed to be there, then why? Because Sumbha and Nisumbha are the two Rakshasas who are tough people. And on the other hand, see, the real problem appears not only for the gods or Sajjanas and Rishis and all that. Real problem is even to the Devi herself. If at all you think, supposing you look at a beautiful woman or beauty, and if you desire to possess it, it is really a problem and risk. And the beauty won't be very accessible, available, and affordable also. Supposing you go to a shop, you see a wonderful memento or curious. If you want to buy it, will be highly expensive, but you cannot afford to do it. But same is the case with Parvati. Parvati was very beautiful, and somebody went and told Sumbari Sumbas, hey, there is a beautiful woman, she's a Ratna. So Ratnahari the Parthivaha, king must preserve in his museum. All Ratnas in the world, Sarva Ratnanam Adhipaha. He cannot accept any Ratnam not coming to his museum or display. Therefore, Stri Ratna Khalu. That's why they wanted, they just said, I want to, one of them she can marry, but she put a condition. That is the greatness. See, unless you are able to defeat me in the war, anyone between among you, two brothers, anyone who defeats, I will be the first woman to accept to be wife to them. It's really a very tough condition, something like Kanya Sulkam or even that. And even today I was told, I don't know now, in Egypt and other places, if at all you want a beautiful woman and qualified woman and highly, you have to pay her. So depending upon the beauty, qualification, and the kind of job that the woman had, you have to pay and then make her your wife. That's why when my Egyptian friend was telling, oh, you men, boys in India are lucky because the women side people pay you money. They give you varakatnam, but you don't pay for the woman. So anyway, but here the price that was demanded was that she must be defeated in the war, and because she said, I committed such kind of a promise and a vratam, so I cannot violate it. So I am ready. I am ready to marry any of you. That's what she sent as a message towards that Duta Sugriva, and that Sugriva, that Duta goes and verbatim repeats. Then they become angry and the war begins. So how the war to be picked up is also an important thing to note. The cause, you know, in the first Charitam, the war began only when the Madhukaitava Rakshasas were tormenting and giving lot of trouble to Brahmadeva. And at that time, the parent, the father to the Brahma and also Madhukaitavas are in Yoga Nidra. So when father is sleeping, then Swayam Raja, Swayam Mantri, the children in the house. Suppose there is no father in the house or mother in the house, or both are not in the house, the children will have a hay time. And they will be quarreling, they will be all doing all sorts of things. Same manner. So the brothers are a tough fight, and so they requested Amma to come up. That's why that Devi, Mahakali, she came out and allowed Vishnu to fight both the Asuras. 5,000 years fight. You imagine? It was a 5,000-year fight that Vishnu had to go with. Ultimately, looking at the Vishnu status, the children says, Appa, ನೀನು ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯುದ್ಧ ಮಾಡಿದೀಯಾ, and it looks you are tired. So ask me anything, ask from us, anything that you want, I can do for you because we are your children. Then Vishnu Purnalo, he says, I want to kill you, destroy you, kill you. And then, okay, we are now very happy with you. You can just, they say, at such a time, there should be water only up to your knee deep or even less than knee deep. Then there will be ground on that. Only at such place you can kill me. So the pralayam happened, and the first Rakshasa that was killed after pralayam, just around pralayam, is that Madhukaitavas. That's what we understand. So what is the message we get from that means brothers quarreling. And everybody wants to have supremacy and dethrone whatever good powers or wealth or anything like that, that the elder brother would have it. So actually brothers are unhappy if an elder brother or any other brother were to get more emoluments, more qualification and more. So even in the Asti, even in the property division, there is a, so this is how the world goes on. This is what is called samsara chakram. Samsara chakra pravartana is lokayatra pravartana. Lokayatra vidhayinye namaha. See, only in Bhuloka there is Dvandva. There are Rakshasas, there are Manavas, and all time the wicked people try to overpower the soft people, and therefore there is always the scope for the invitation to gods. Rakshasas don't invoke them, but they will be thinking that they are independently powerful. But human beings, though invoke, but they are all few, but they are all weak and fragile people. So they want the interference of the God in one avatara form or any form to see that there is a kind of comfort extended to him. That's why, so you observe this Parameswari, Durgamma or Parvati, she took the form of a being Saraswati. Saraswati means flow. When a river is flowing, so many tributaries will come and join, and because of that tributaries joining the small river, then it becomes a Mahanadi. So she becomes a Jayadurga, becomes a Mahadurga. So Mahadurga is Saraswati. Jayadurga is different. Mahishasura Mardini Jaya. And Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini. And Ramya Kapardini Sailasute ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಪರ್ದ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದಂದ್ರೆ ರಮ್ಯ ಕಪರ್ದ is in fact the whole Mysore, they want to drag her by hair and they want to catch her. They want to kill her in the land, in the war. That is the very bad idea. To touch the hair of other person other than husband or kalatram, other than by parents, and other than by a barber is a maha irritational crime. So Kesha is a most important treasure that anybody would afford to have, and that adds beauty and that adds picture. So that's why the Kesha Pasha, that's why they call Kesha grows so rich as the Pasha. Anyway, here in this particular section, we have covered about 6 to 7 slokas. So I just try to cover up that review what has taken place in those slokas, and we'll just try to recite, and that will be a part of parayana, because parayana is parayana. Para is the other shore. So you will be always at a shore and you have to reach the other shore. For example, when you go to Benares, Kasi, when Ganga river is all flowing, when you go to Dasashwamedha Ghat or any ghat, and you will be at one bank. And later, if you and you have to go to other bank. So when at other bank of the Kasi, when Ganga, there is the Vyasakasi. So Vyasakasi, you have to go there. That means there's a boat, you have to cross the river. Therefore, the other shore will be, other bank will be freer compared to the bank where all people will be there. So anyway, ಹಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ you see in the 6 slokas, they all said, so they lost their power, ability. Pura sumbari sumbabhyam asurabhyam sachipatehe trailokyam yagnabhagascha hrutaha. So the sumbari sumbas have dropped away, have dragged. Gridhra ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಮದಬಲದಿಂದ he whatever wealth and health and all that which Sachipati had was taken away by these two Rakshasas, and they became Surya, they became Kubera, they became the light giver, they became the treasurer. So any portfolio in the divine administration that the gods held, all those portfolios have been taken out and kept by the Sumbani Sumbhas. As a result, though they are elected, they have no power, they have no time, they have no jobs, and they have no activity, and they are all completely poor, and paucity of strength, paucity of job, paucity of movement. Then again, Taveva Pavana. So in third and fourth sloka, you have to understand what are the powers that have been robbed importantly by the Sumbani Sumbhas, because Pavana Pavanardhim cha chakratuhu vanhi karma cha tato devaha vinirdhutaha brashtarajyaha varajitaha. So they're all pushed out, vinirdhutaha. They are all pushed out from the Sargalokam, and also they are taken away of their own governmental jobs, and they are all defeated. So what more? For anybody in the world to live, they must have some kind of ruddhi. Ruddham cha me, ruddhischa me, yajnena kalpantam. Vruddham cha me, vruddhischa me, satyam cha me, like that. To live in the world, we must want something to go with. All that, if it is absent, we don't know. Therefore, the ruddhi is being taken away. For example, Vanhi karma and Pavana karma and Rajya karma, everything is taken away by them. Ultimately, what happened? They became widowed with power, with their locations, and ultimately they are all defeated. And in the fifth sloka, what happened? Kritadhikaraha tridashaha tabhyam sarve nirakritaha mahasurabhyam tam devim samsparanti aparajitam. So samsparanti aparajitam. So this Durga is Jaya Durga always. You cannot have Parajaya to Durgam at all. Only Manavas are having the two things, Yuddha, work. They will be Yuddha Siddhirhi Chanchala. In Mahabharata, Bhishma says. In Ramayana also, Rama says, saying that, Aya, we are always going to war. But the success in war is always too ambiguous. You may win the war, you may lose the war. You may come back safe with life, or you may get killed in the war. So you should see, whenever there is a war, whenever there is a difficulty, you must be prepared. Dehatyaga, Pranatyaga, and Rashtra Bhakti and Raja Bhakti, all these things must be highlighted in them. You know, in Bhagavad Gita, you see, Duryodhana is such a stupid fellow, selfish fellow, egoistic fellow. He comes to Bhishmacharya and says, Bhishma and Drona and all, especially Dronacharya, in first chapter, he says, all these people are there. Bhishma, Drona, Krupa, Aswatha, Virala, Karna, all these are Maharathas, Atirathas, Jayadratha's, etc. And there is 11 Akshohini Sainyam, and all of them are ready to get killed by them, killed in the war for the sake of me. ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಇಗು ಅವನಲ್ಲಿ ಮದಂ ಗರ್ವಂ ಅಂದರೆ ಮದರ್ಥೆ ಚಕ್ತಜೀವಿತಾ ಏತೆ ಏತೆ ಅಂತ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ನನಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಪ್ರಾಣತ್ಯಾಗ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿದ್ಧವಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಡೌಟ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ದೇ ಫೈಟ್ ಅಪ್ ಟು ದಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಬ್ಲಡ್. With the spirit, Yasova Mruchurva. Either you get fame or you get death. These are the only two things when you go for war. So with that spirit, they fight. But at the same, you look at Arjuna. Arjuna is sentimentally attached, and he says, "Oh, these are all my kith and kin, my grandfather, my uncle, my grandson, my son." So with that, oh, I don't want to kill all these people and rule the land, which is with his blood ridden, with all my kith and kin blood will be flowing in that. I don't want. So this is the contrasting picture that you get there. Here also, the gods have got very poor status, and the Sumbas are in a vulnerable state. And at the same time, so all these people went and told, because appealing, there must be some authority who is really capable to attend to your needs. See, Ishvara is one. That's why the Sungeri Swamiji is, Bharati Tirtha was always telling repeatedly to all people now and then, Yananta, Manava Prayatna plus Ishvara Anugraha, or Ishvara Sankalpa. Manava Sankalpa and Ishvara Sankalpa put together will be Shiva Sankalpa. So in Mahanyasam, we have 36 mantras. Tanme Shiva Sankalpamastu anta 36 ಸಲ we are going to repeat and tell Rudra, Aya Kailasa Sikare Ramye Shankarasya Shivalaye Devatastattra Modanti Tanme Manasiva Sankalpamastu Advitu Kailasa Sikare Ramye Girikanyaya. So Girisha is with Girikanya. So Modati, they are all having so at a place where Parvati and Parameswaras are comfortable, enjoying the togetherness, and they are beautiful dampatis. At that time, all gods go to Shiva and Parvati's location and praise and ask for their help and all that. Same. So similarly, they remembered that Parameswari, and moreover, what is that they remembered? Taya asmakam varodattaha. What is the vara or boon that she had granted? See, yathapatsu sudakhilaha. In case danger strikes you, calamity strikes you, you should remember. When you just make smarana, then bhavatam nasayishyami takshanat paramapadaha. Bhavatam paramapadaha, 6th sloka. So the paramapada, see, emergency, top emergency, and staying at a melting point. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ದೇ ಮೆ ನಾಟ್ ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಗಾಡ್ಸ್, ಪ್ಲೇ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಬಾಸಸ್, ಪ್ಲೇ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಅಥಾರಿಟೀಸ್. You should be really wanting and serious. Desire is different from wanting. So our Veda mantras tell you wants and desires. In fact, some long time back, I just got an idea to write an article on wants and desires in the Rigveda mantras. An article which I prepared and published in the Bombay Journal sometime, and in Antiquary also, I don't remember. But at that time, we had not all these extra facilities when we can preserve. So we used to get it typed and get sent to press, and they used to compose and prepare. But these days things are different. So Bhavatam Paramapadaha Nasayishyami Aduyanu emergent Takshanat. See, Takshana is important. That's what we call it emergency. Whenever the need is there, they all should be there. So the calamity cannot be postponed. That's what my long back one of our family physicians, Krishnamurti doctor, he used to say, you can wait for the doctor to come, or you go to doctor, but the complaint you have got will not wait. So the complaint or the disease or pain that you have will not wait until you meet the doctor. That's the problem. Therefore, Smarana, even Vishnu Sahasranamalo, Smrtihi, Paramatma himself is the very embodiment of Smrti and Smaranam. And in other place it is said, Smarana Devatu Kaivalyam Nachu Anyatha. So our Shankaracharya says, or other Acharyas also say that Smarana Devatu Kaivalyam, unless you make a Namasmarana, anything like that, think that you are subdued, you have no power, and you have to request ultimately the interference of Paramatma. Therefore, so that's exactly what you learn from the Gajendra Moksha. In Bhagavatam, Gajendra Moksha means he ultimately, the Gajendra thought that he can always get over from the crocodile. Ultimately says, ಲಾವಕ್ಕಂತಯುಲೇದು ಧೈರ್ಯಮು ವಿಲೋಲಂಬಯ್ಯೆ ಶಕ್ತಿಯು ಸಣ್ಣಗಿಲ್ಲೆ ಅಂತ ಪೋತನ ಭಾಗವತದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಯುವರ್ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಏನೇನು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕೋ ಆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್, ದೆನ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ದಿ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೆಂಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಕಮ್. Something like even in the operational system, surgery ಮಾಡುವಾಗ are small things all surgeons can attend. But when there is some critical, typical, serious problem, only the chief surgeon must be there. And he will not stay for long also. He will also do whatever should be done, and he leaves the remaining stitches hakodu to the other surgeons who are assistants to him there. So ಈ ತರಹ, because the Ishvara is always on demand by the whole lokas. So when he is on demand by all people, he has to attend Takshanat. So Chipra Prasadini, Sadhya Prasadini, Lalita Sahasranamam, also it is promised that there will not be any time lag between the complaint or between the prayer and attending the prayer. And you need not expect the Deva and Devatas or Ishvara to appear before you and indulge in conversation like anybody, humans do it. No indulgence. The moment you have that prayer done, you see the result, experience. Therefore, Sadhya Prasadini Vishwato Mukhi in Lalita Sahasranamam. And in here also Amavaru says, whatever arti that the devas have got, Takshanat Nasayishyami. What is want is Nashana. That is trying to wholesale remove it so that it will not relapse or recur. And now onwards, let us see. So Sivalinga Helibabu, iti krutva matim deva, seventh one.
इति कृत्वा मतिं देवा इति कृत्वा मतिं देवा
Himavantam Nageshwaram.
इमवन्तं नगेश्वरम्
Yadmuhu tatra tato devi.
जग्मुहुस्तत्र ततो देवीम्
Vishnumayam pratushtuvuhu.
विष्णुमायां प्रतुष्टुवुः
Deva uchuhu.
देवावूचुः
Namo Devyai Mahadevyai Sivayai Satatam Namaha.
नमो देव्यै महादेव्यै शिवायै सततं नमः। नमो देव्यै महादेव्यै शिवायै सततं नमः।
नमः प्रकृत्यै भद्रायै नियताः प्रणताः स्मताम्।
नमः प्रकृते भद्रायै नियतां प्रणतां स्मताम्।
नियताः प्रणताः स्मताम्।
नमः प्रकृते भद्रायै नियताः प्रणताः स्मताम्।
रौद्रायै नमो नित्यायै
रौद्रायै नमो नित्यायै रौद्रायै नमो नित्यायै
धात्र्यै नमो नमः।
गौर्ये धात्रे नमो नमः। गौर्ये धात्रे नमो नमः।
ज्योत्स्नायै चेन्दुरूपिण्यै
ज्योत्स्नायै चेन्दुरूपिण्यै ज्योत्स्नायै चेन्दुरूपिण्यै
सख्यायै सततं नमः।
सुखायै ಅಂತ ಇದೆ
सुखायै सततं नमः।
सुखायै सततं नमः। सुखायै सततं नमः।
कल्याण्यै प्रणतां वृद्ध्यै सिद्ध्यै
कल्याण्यै प्रणतां वृद्ध्यै सिद्ध्यै कल्याण्यै प्रणितां वृद्ध्यै सिद्ध्यै
कूर्म्यै नमो नमः।
कूर्म्यै नमो नमः। कूर्म्यै नमो नमः।
नैऋत्यै बिभृतां लक्ष्म्यै
नैऋत्यै भूभृतां लक्ष्म्यै नैऋत्यै भूभृतां लक्ष्म्यै
सर्वाण्यै ते नमो नमः।
सर्वाण्यैते नमो नमः। सर्वाण्यैते नमो नमः।
When you want to get to that Devi to your yard very quickly, you have to pick up such glorious names of Devi that she also gets confidence, she also gets compassion, and also gets the ability drawn that she would be able to attend to the seriousness of the crisis. Therefore, in this particular prayer, you observe that Durga Parameswari is being marked to be all responsible in executing her protection, her duty, or her karuna, that the lokas become completely happy. That's why you observe these are all the namavali, though they are put in it's a Puranam. Markandeya Maharshi, Puranam means Panchalakshanam ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So the style must be very, very easy and convincing and also available for people to be able to pronounce also. So you observe the only names Mahadevi, Shiva, Prakruti, and Bhadra, Raudra, Nitya, Gauri, Dhatri, Jyotsna, Indurupini, Sukha, Satatam Namaha. So you observe that Pranataha Sma is one way that you have to surrender absolutely any and everything of you. Papoham, Papakarmaham, Papatma, Papasambhavaha, Trahimang, Krupaya Deva, Saranagata Vatsala. So Saranagata Vatsala, you consider all those people who surrender, come to you, you extend your affection, protection, and all that. Therefore, Ilenu Pranata Hasma, we are all submitting to you. Maybe we are having individual power, individual Shakti, but all that Shakti is no avail before Sumba Nisimbas, and therefore we submit all that to you too, that we have no ability to do it. We just bow down our head. And why? Because you are a Nitya, you are a Raudra, you are Prakruti, you are Shiva, you are Mahadevi. There are all Devis in the world, but Mahadevi is the ruler. That's why in Lalita Sahasranam, typical, nowhere you can see that kind of order. Sri Mata, Sri Maharagni, Sri Matsimhasaneshwari. So, mother cannot be independently same, but mother should be something plus, plus, plus. Therefore, a mother, a woman, she is all administrator. ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರೇಣ ಪಂಡಿತಾಃ ಪುರುಷಾಃ ನಿಸರ್ಗಾದೇವ ಪಂಡಿತಾಃ ಸ್ತ್ರೀಯಃ. ಕಾಳಿದಾಸ ಪ್ರಪಂಚಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾಠ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಅಯ್ಯ, ಸ್ತ್ರೀಯರು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್, ಕಾಲೇಜ್, ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟೀಸ್, ಡಿಗ್ರೀಸು, ಜಾಬೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಸಾಕು. ಮನೆ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಬಾಯ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಟು ಗುರುಸ್ and different gurus. That's why that's why in Taittiriya Upanishad, our Acharya gives a suggestion. Eke chasmat shreya gumso brahmanaha tesham swayasanena prasvasitavyam. ನೋಡಿದ್ರ, ಈ ಹುಡುಗನಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ he is the man in the street, he is the person in the street. But street and house, market and house, they are always contrasting. ಸೊ ಹೌಸಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು, ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಹೌಸ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ವೆನ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೌಸ್ ಆರ್ ಬೋತ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಯಲ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ Mahadevi and Shiva, Shivayai, two meanings you can take it. She will be always compassionate, Kripa Samudra she is, so Kriparnava she is, so she will be Shiva. And Shiva is Shanta, and her husband Shiva, then however however is her husband, so is the wife. That's why Bhavabhuti says that Sita and Rama, they are similar, because after marriage, the woman gets husband's qualities and husband gets woman's qualities, and therefore they make a wonderful family. That's why they are called Dampatis. Dam is a house. Say for house making, there will be rulers, not only husband, not only wife, both. That's why for samsara chakra, there are two wheels, wife and husband. They are the two wheels. Any wheel ailing, the chakra won't, the ratha won't move at all. That's why Saririnam Rathanam Vidhi anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. So when they say Rathanam Vidhi Ratha, they some this, so Shivayai, and she is a Prakriti Bhadra. So she is concerned with the safety, security, prosperity, etc. of the Prakriti. Prakriti means all beings, all things. So everything is Prakriti. And Purusha is responsible for the Prakriti. But in order to see that the Prakriti is in order, sustained, very well sustained, Purusha will enter into that. So, ajayamano bahudha vijayate tasya dhira parijananti yonim. Actually, there is no gender, sex and all that for that. Energy is same. You can't describe the female energy, male energy, nothing like that. Energy is one. But depending upon the contextual and circumstantial need and necessity, the energy will divide itself into the form. So whatever may you talk about it. That's why, so whether it's a male surgeon or a female surgeon, no matter. Surgery is important because both are qualified. Here they say board certified antare. Unless board certifies, they cannot be a doctors here. And so that board certification itself is a wonderful belief and faith in people that they should be that. So board certified. Like that, here Prakrutyai, Ammavaru Prakrutilo dagi undi. Tanu differentga unnappatiki, she will never think that she is different from that. A mother will not think that she is different from her children. So she and her children, parents or father might be little different, but mother cannot give up. But children can go away. See, kashtapattu, when children are brought up, the children go away, but the wife does not go away to the husband, or husband does not go away. Ultimately, the wife and husband alone remain until their death, until their last breath. That is the bandha. సో ఆ బంధ శాశ్వతంగా ఉంటుంది, కానీ పుట్టిన పిల్లలందరూ కూడా అమ్మ నాన్నలు వదిలిపెట్టి వెళ్ళిపోతారు. తర్వాత అమ్మ నాన్నలు శత్రువులు కూడా తయారవుతారు. దే టర్న్ అవుట్ టు బి ఎనిమీస్ టు దేర్ ఓన్ పేరెంట్స్. ఐ డోంట్ లైక్ మదర్. Like that, there are people I remember, I have seen one fellow did not go to that smashanam. If at all he went, he stood at a very long distance, a son of a mother, when mother is under fire. And when he was asked, I don't want to that, so let her die like that, only in the fire. So people are there so callous. But do you think that they have got a better time? No. They really suffered. I know that person who made that statement when he was youth. But ultimately had a number of problems and died with all their problems, unfortunately. So like that, here, Amma is there in the Prakriti. Amma is there as the overhead. Sirshnaha Sirshno. In Saurasuktam, which I am doing every morning, because as a part of Parayanam and Adhyayanam to the students here and whoever attends. But I hear, today I said, who is Surya Bhagavan? Sirshnaha Sirshaha. He is the peak of the peaks. And moreover, Darshatam Bapuhu. Paramatma always appears to us very beautiful. Durgamma is very beautiful to us to look at. And she never is Mahakali. That she only takes that Mahakali, Bhayankara Raudra Swarupam only for the enemies. And as long as she holds their weapons in her hand, Karapallava Sangini. So Ammavari యొక్క వేళ్ళు చేతులు ఎంత ఉందంటే లేత ఆకుల్లాగా ఉంది అంటాడు మార్కండేయ మహర్షి. As long as the weapons are held by her in her hands, all weapons are having the luxury of the comfort and cushion. Her hands are cushioned for the weapons. But when she was to go and release them out for our enemies, they become Raudra. Therefore, you look at that. Tomorrow on 6th, 9th, a scholar is talking on the weapons. It will be a wonderful talk. And because I know that. So he is going to have also the screen sharing. And then we understand the connection of the weapons with the Devis or with the Devas and with human beings or for protection. Other than that, she is called Prakriti and Bhadra. Bhadra yarke Bhadraya Bhadram. That's what is Surya Bhagavan. In Saura Suktam, our Purushottangaru is there. He can remember, recapitulate. So Bhadraya Bhadram. You lock the door, but still you put a door lock. See, what lock you put for one hatch, you are not happy. You made another lock. So lock marti now. That's why Bhadraya. So, however, ultimately it is called Bhadram. And moreover, this kind of Bhadratvam, Prakriti Swarupam, Shivatvam, Mahadevi Swarupam is Nitya. It is not alternate current like coming and going. No. The flow is constantly there. That's why she is a Mahasaraswati. Saraswati is a flow. That's why elders say that you never should go in between wife and husband. You should never go between Nandi and Shivalingam. So in between, of course, there is a constant flow of current. The Bhakta and Devatas. Then Adharityage, the person who is taking the food also, food and food. So there is a constant connection, flow between the food that he is taking. So that's why that's why it's called Adhyata iti, Adhyate annam iti annam. And Tasmad annam Adhyata iti. And so here, that's why it is said Prakrutyai Bhadrayai. So Prakrutilo Unnapudu, when you are in the problem, you should be a protector of the problem, a remover of the problem, rather than destroyer of the problem. That is to say, Bhadrayai and Niyataha. For all this to become activated, what is needed is absolute Saranagati. So in Saundar Lahari, our Sankara says, Tavahi Charanaveva Saranau. Amma, all your four hands are having the weapons, but your hands are not free. All other gods have got Abhayahasta and Varadahasta. But Amma, you are the only goddess, Parameswari, Parashakti. whose hands are not free. But what is free? Your drushti. Draghi yasya drushtya. And again, tavahicha, and her feet is free. And therefore, we reach her feet. Her feet is Guru. And her drishti is the success. So that's why in Valmiki Ramayana, Valmiki Maharshi says, Yaha Ramam Pasyati, Yamcha Ramo Pasyati, Savai Bhavet Yaloke Punyavananta. So Ramanannu now nodbeku. Now Ramanannu nodbeku. And there must be that kind of mutual flow. Then only it is called bhakti. It cannot be one side. You see, Ramana loved Sita, but Sita never loved Ravana. Therefore, it is called Rasabhasa. The Rasabhasa resulted in a big war. And never Ravana abducted any married woman in his efforts. Always he got unmarried ladies from all lokas and kept in his library, in his museum. Strivanam Rakshasasya Tatu anta Valmiki ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. It's a forest. He doesn't know who is who, what is what, but he has so many women in his chambers or in his palace. But when he abducted Sita, the wife of Rama, the problem began. In fact, Maricha cautions Ravana when second time, when Rama was alone, Brahmachari, I was hit by him and he could not kill me, or I could not get killed by him, and I didn't desire to get killed. But now Rama is a married man. He has got the Shakti, Stri Shakti together with him. You cannot escape. So I cannot escape. Then Ravana does not heed that kind of caution given by Marich Mama to Ravana. No, if you go, okay, otherwise I will kill you here. Then Maricha Rakshasa, Maharakshasa decided, instead of getting killed by you, better I get killed by Rama. And that's, in fact, I've been doing Ramanama, Ramajapa, Rama. So Ramanama is there in my Romas. Rome Ram Nam. People say that in every piece of hair of our body, the Rama sound should be reverberating, should be echoing. So I have been spending all these days. I became a mendicant, but now you compel me. Okay, I become golden deer and get killed. So Ravana has been cautioned, but he wanted to die in his own way. So the war took place. So like that, here Pranataha Sma, and again, who is this Parameswari? Parameswari is Raudra Nitya. She is a Raudra Rupini, Mahakali. You know that we go to Gokarnam, where the Atmalinga of Lord Shiva is installed. When mother of Ravanasura said, I want to have the Atmalinga of Shiva to be worshipped in Lanka, in my place, I want. She's a mother's orders. So in Ramayana, mother also is important, although father is more important. So what is it? Yes, he went to Kailas. And unfortunately, when he went to Kailas, of course I'm taking a deviation, but enjoy this. Parvati and Parameswaras were together. They both gave their son to him. But Ravana, when he looked at Parvati, he got attracted to her and thought, Ayo, how not? I take Parvati as my wife. Why should Shiva be having her? No, I want to take Parvati. So when Shiva asked, what do you want? He simply said, I want Parvati, your wife. I want to marry her. What a idea it is, no? Stupid idea, but it's all. Then Shiva said, no, you cannot deprive. See, Shiva is a Bhola Shankar, whatever Bhakta, yenu kelidre kotbirtane. Parvati was stunned. What is this Shiva, my husband? He is sending me away with Ravanasura. So she was also scared a while. But no option, because Pati is the Devata, Pati is final authority, is a super judge. So when Shiva said go, then Parvati followed. But it was again a problem for gods. Then Narada and Ganesha, they came and they saw and they told Ravana, hey, Whom you are taking? No, I'm taking Parvati, the most beautiful lady, to Anka. So I want to marry her. No, 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 look back. Then when Ravana looked back, Parvati appeared like a Kali, Mahakali, Raudrayai Satatam Namaha. She was a Rudra Rupini. And then when she was black and wearing this kalma and rundamala and all that, then Ravana became highly angry upon Shiva. What is this? I asked the beautiful Parvati to come with me. He has sent this forum. No, I want to return it. So that's how the Parvati got saved from the clutches of Ravanasura, safely, because of Narada and all that. So, but Sita could not be could not be saved immediately like Parvati. So Parvati and there are so many people, a married woman, whom Ravanasura wanted to attempt, but Sita was the victim ultimately because he has to be died. That's how the spirit of Ramayana, the pulse of Ramayana, you understand. So in December 20 and 21st, we are going to have good scholars to come and give us a kind of contrast of wisdom. Wisdom is same, but how you use the wisdom, whether for benefit or for annihilation, depends upon the individual buddhi. That's why manasu buddhi, these are the two independent things which are loved by God, which are given away to man, human being, and human being is mischievous fellow, he will play with them. But God, when human beings play with them, then God is not at all happy. But those humans who play not like that, but who apply some yoga and controls, samatvam yoga uchyate, and something like that, then Krishna is also happy. Then he will say, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam raja. So when once you take shelter in the feet of Krishna, then no dharma will operate. All dharmas get subdued. Na punyam, na papam, na. So ultimately, even in Ashtavakra Gita also, the other day, Monday I was doing, in the 18th chapter, I tried to review. Ultimately, our Ashtavakra Maharshi also at the 18th chapter comes to the agreement, compliance with the theory, with the proposal of Shankaracharya, who said Netivada and Sunyavada and all these things. So, Neti, but why you deny something? Because you want something else, which is reality. So, reality is something which will simply lure us differently, but you should not get lured by other things. And then that's why even Ramayana, Ravanasura says, Mai lala lala ne. So lala lala lala, that lala ne lala, that kind of lalatvam has been, lolatvam, lalatvam is being suggested to Sita Devi, but Sita did not get attracted to that kind of attractions. What he says ultimately, I am going to win all the three worlds and give as a sulkam for you to your father, Janaka. Does Janaka want? Is a great Vedant in Brahmavadin. So Janaka Maharim, Tande Kortinama, in Stella Kortini, Nan Madhumadako. So this is the price otherwise. So this kind of lurings would be there in the life. But the suggestion from Durga Saptasati or Saundarya Lahari or Ashtavakra Gita or Bhagavad Gita is that don't become victim to all that. That's why in Krishna spares one full chapter for Atma Sayyava Yoga. See, Atma Anodu is an interesting deposit in us. So Atmanam Vidhi. Because Atma is the only generator from which any and everything would be emanating. That's why in Mahanyasam you see Atman Nitya Mantrayata Dasahuto Bhavato. So Atman Nitya Mantrayata Paroksha Priya Vahi Deva. So you see, gods are knowing your Atma and you have to discover your Atma. So Adhyatma Vidyanam ಅಂತ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ನಾನು ಯಾರಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಬಿದ್ದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಲ್ಲಿ. ಆದರೆ ಆ Atma Adhishtanatvam or Adhyayana of Atma, hardly people have got time. Nowadays, people are all worried about, mind, body and mind. Spirit hatra ತೋರೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದೀಪ ಹಚ್ಚೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ್ ಮಾಸ ಆಗಲಿ, ಮಾಘ ಮಾಸ ಆಗಲಿ, no matter. Masas will come and go. This is a cycle. Kala Chakra will come and go. I had to go to office. So this is how the present trend, but gods also are all tolerating because this is Kali Yuga. So Nityai and Gauryai Bhatrei Namo Namaha. She is a Gauri. That is, she can never be defiled. Always a disclaimer. She will not be responsible for all that. If you become changed, if you get wisdom, if you get awakening, that Jagrada Avastha, then only you are enjoying the presence and support of that. That's why, when we go to sleep, the body goes to sleep, not the mind. Then what is the work of mind? Mind enters into Swapna Prapancham. So when Swapna Prapancham is also controlled, Swapna Avastha, and then mind becomes little silent. That is what is called Turiya Avastha. So Turiya Avasthadalli mind is completely went to rest. ನೀವು ಮಲಗಿದ್ದು ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರೆಸ್ಸು, ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರು, ಎ ಸಿ, ಅದು ಇದು ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ nothing matters to you when one sleep takes over. A laborer sleeps in sunshine under the tree. He doesn't want a mattress, he doesn't want anything. Just on the hard ground, he will get a deep sleep for hours. So sleep, when it comes to us, no matter where you are out, because the body requires it. But the mind is sensitive organ, antahkaranas, buddhi, ahankara, chitta. See, mano buddhi ahankara chitta ninaham. So, ಈ ಮನಸ್ಸು, ಬುದ್ಧಿ, ಚಿತ್ತ, ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ನಾ ಅಹಂ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ಅವಾಗ ಯು ಗೋ ಇನ್ ಟು ತುರಿಯಾವಸ್ಥ. ಆ ತುರಿಯಾವಸ್ಥ ಕೂಡ ఉంటుంది మనకు, but that's a very short lived. But yogins, Krishna says, when all people are sleeping, the sages are wakeful. Yanisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagarti sanyami. Yasyam. So when the Sanyami sleeps, all people are wakeful. So this is the status of a Sanyami and Asamyayi, na Samyayi. Krishna, Bhagavad Gita is a wonderful answer. Why are you going to Gita, sir? Because Durga Saptasati, Bhagavad Gita, Ashtavakra Gita, Vyasa Gita, and Vasishtha Gita, etc. All Gitas are impressing on this mankind the wisdom. That wisdom is there, available. But how you monitor it is depending on you. Vidura, in 500 slokas, gave advice to Dhritarashtra before Duryodhana comes with a proposal to him, before Krishna comes as an envoy representing the Pandavas when they return from that. But Sanjaya gave all kind of fear infused fear in Dhritarashtra. But immediately he called Vidura. But Vidura's niti, Sanjaya's niti, did not work in Dhritarashtra, got all his 100 sons killed in the war. So that's why the wisdom is there. Surya is there. Paramatma is there. But how you manipulate the Paramatma to your convenience and to your upliftment is your own. That's why Swayam Krutam Karma va Punyam va. In Prashnopanishad, in third Prashna as an answer, Pippalada Maharshi tells us that Udana Vayu is there. It is neutral in our body, always working. So when once your work is over, your body work is over, Sarira comes to rest, then the Udana Vayu will take that soul to Punya Lokas according as the Punyam percentage or ratio. And the same Udana Vayu with Prana Vayu takes you to Papa Lokas, Naraka Lokas. And so Udana Vayu with Prana Vayu and Samana Vayu with Prana Vayu. The Pancha Vayus, that's why in Sandhya Vandanam we say Prano, Pana, Vyano, Dana, Samana, Saprana, Sweta Varna. See, all these Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana are always together with the Prana Shakti. So which is that Prana Shakti? Paramatma Mahanarayana himself is the Pranashakti. That's why we make a prayer when we make a Bhagavad Gita that Pranaya Tasmai Namaha Yo Anta Pravisya Mama Vachamimaham Prasuptaham Sanjeevayati. So Anta Prana Namaskara. If Prana Shakti is Paramatma, he will not widow the Panchavayus in our body, he will be together with them. ಸೊ ಈಶ್ವರನೇ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ, ದೇವರಿಂದಲೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು. ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಸಹಾಯ ಬೇಡ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಈಸ್ ಮಧು, ಕೈಟಭ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮಹಿಷಾಸುರ, ರಾವಣಾಸುರ. ರಾವಣಾಸುರ ನೆವರ್ ಕೇರ್ಡ್, even though he knew that Rama is Vishnu coming in the form of human being. But so though people know it, still they become victim for that. So ಈ ಪಾಪಗಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನೋಯಿಂಗ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಡೂ ಸಿನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಜ್ಞಾನೇನ ಅಜ್ಞಾನೇನ ಚ ಅಪರಾಧಾನಿ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಅಪರಾಧ ಸಹಸ್ರಾಣಿ ಕ್ರಿಯಂತೆ ಮಯಾ ಅಹರ್ನಿಶಂ. ಸೊ ರೈಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡೇ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಪರಾಧಾಸ್. ಸೊ ಅಪದಾಮಪಹರ್ತಾರಂ ಅಂತ ಈ ತರಹ ನಾವು ಈಶ್ವರ ಕೃಪಾ, ದ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ವೇ ಔಟ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಸೇಫ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಹೆಲ್ದಿ. ವಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್. ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಲೈಕ್ ವಾಲ್ಮೀಕಿ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ ಹೂ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟೆಡ್ ರಾಮಾಯಣ ಅಪ್ ಟು ಪಟ್ಟಾಭಿಷೇಕಂ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಉತ್ತರಕಾಂಡ ಇಸ್ ರಿಟನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ by somebody else. That's why Uttarakanda is not for Parayana purpose. Mahabharata, not one author is there. After all, Vyasa is editor. So he is the chief editor of all this. So many Vyasas were there to write down the history of India. Mahabharata is a history, Itihasa. But Ramayana is a Mahakavya. One single Rishi who always said, Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varane. So I stop here. We continue. So I am just taking deviation to impress that Durga Saptasati is not just this, but it is a Bible. It is a library by itself. We have to get so many cross references to be more happy. Om Swasti.
ಓಂ ಸಹನಾಭವತು ಸಹನೋ ಭುನಕ್ತು ಸಹ ವೀರ್ಯಂಕರವಾವಹೈ ತೇಜಸ್ವಿನಾವಧೀತಮಸ್ತು ಮಾ ವಿದ್ವಿಷಾವಹೈ. ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ. ಸರ್ವೇ ಭವಂತು ಸುಖಿನಃ, ಸರ್ವೇ ಸಂತು ನಿರಾಮಯ, ಸರ್ವೇ ಭದ್ರಾಣಿ ಪಶ್ಯಂತು ಮಾ ಕಶ್ಚಿತ್ ದುಃಖ ಭಾಗ್ ಭವೇತ್. ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ. ಹರಿ ಓಂ ತತ್ಸತಂ. ಸರ್ವಂ ಶ್ರೀಕೃಷ್ಣಾರ್ಪಣಮಸ್ತು. ಶ್ರೀ ವಾಸುದೇವಾರ್ಪಣಮಸ್ತು. ಶ್ರೀ ವೇದ ಪುರುಷ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದೋಸ್ತು. ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಮಾತೃ ಚರಣಾರವಿಂದಾರ್ಪಣಮಸ್ತು. ಓಂ